Welcome back. Despite being Africa's largest democracy, Nigeria has one of the lowest levels of female representation in politics globally. Women occupy less than 5% of seats in the National Assembly, a stark contrast to continental and global averages. Amid growing calls for gender inclusion, the reserved seats for women bill has re-emerged as a critical point of national debate. Proponents argue it will give Nigeria women a stronger voice in governance and policy making, while critics warn of tokenism and constitutional complications. As Nigeria considers structural reforms to promote gender equity, the conversation around reserved political seats is gaining traction, not only as a gender issue but also as a catalyst for broader democratic development. Osasu Igbinedion, Ogwuche, the CEO of TOS Group, is a leading voice of the movement for gender equity in Africa, and she joins us now from our Abuja studio to bring critical insight into the push for reserved seat for women in Nigeria and what it means for governance, democracy, and future generations. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Nii and Bolanle. Thank you for having me.
Very good. So first off, are women structurally excluded from formal political leadership for some time now in Nigeria? What's your take on that?
I completely agree with you. As you reeled out in your opening remarks, women make up less than 5% of the National Assembly as is presently constituted in the 10th Assembly. That is 3.6% in the House of Representatives and 4% in the Senate. It's very unfortunate because women make up over almost 50% of the Nigerian population. Therefore, the abysmal representation of less than 5% in Parliament is completely unacceptable. So the reserved seats for women's bill is looking to change this structural and systemic flaw.
Now, from this bill that you're hoping to review, you talk about the fact that you expect women to have more seats, especially saying that they currently occupy few seats at the National Assembly. Now, what part of this amendment are you really looking forward to, especially the critical element of the bill? What part are you really looking forward to?
So you're correct. This is a constitutional review, constitutional amendment. This bill is seeking to amend certain parts of the Constitution. It's looking to add 74 additional seats to the National Assembly. That's 37 seats in the Senate, 37 seats in the House of Representatives. That's reflective of 1 seat per state and the FCT. Then in the state level, it's looking to add 3 additional seats per state in each of the states, giving you a total of 108 seats across the 36 states. I believe this will be amending sections 42, 43, 71, and 90 of the Constitution as amended in 1999. And as you have rightly said, this looks to increase women's participation in decision-making. Even after this bill passes by the special grace of God, the percentage of women that will be in the National Assembly, if it's only the ones that run and contest and win on this reserved seats affirmative action, would be only 13.5%. This is still a very far cry from the global gender parity recommendations, which should be 35% across board. So this is a starting point. Women aren't asking for too much, and our male allies too aren't asking for too much. As you're well aware, this bill was sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as 12 other co-sponsors. And in the Senate, it was also sponsored by a man, Senator Mongunu. So our male allies are coming up to say we are feeling the impact of the lack of women in political leadership. Therefore, there's a need to fix this wrong and amend our constitution to reflect the voices of our people and the voices of Nigerians as a whole.
Indeed, Osasu. Now, realistically, from current observations, would you say current female representatives have been proactive in advancing the cause of their constituents at the National Assembly currently, and even at the state, houses of legislation as well? What are your thoughts?
100%. I am so proud of a lot of our female parliamentarians. If you look at the bills that they're sponsoring bills that have to do with healthcare, education, social amenities that improve the day-to-day lives of their constituents. Research shows that when women get involved in decision-making, they pay attention to these social amenities that improves the lives of their everyday constituents. So yes, our female parliamentarians are doing an amazing job. You have Honorable Khadija, the chairperson of the Women Affairs Committee in the House of Rep. You have Senator Ireti Kingibe. You have Senator Banago. These are women that have stood the test of time and have come out to speak boldly for their constituents and represent them in all fairness and equity. So I am definitely proud of our female parliamentarians, but we need more. There are so few voices in the National Assembly and in the state assemblies. We need more so they can really tell the stories of their people and they can really advocate better for them.
So why do you think this change should be gotten through, special seats for women as against getting them through party resolutions and reforms?
We've tried that in the past. We all know that our political landscape, as it's presently constituted, doesn't allow for a free, fair, equitable contest for women to emerge victorious, even when they are voted, to emerge, in their different political parties and in the general election. So what this seeks to do, it's not tokenism. I want to be very clear about that, but it creates a level playing field. It creates an avenue where women will contest and contest in a more free manner. So they're contesting against themselves as women. So for example, in the 2027 elections, you can have, 4 people, one from ABGA, one from APC, one from Labour Party, one from PDP, all contesting for this special seats bill, special seats from Abia State, and the people want to be senators. It will be all women that will be contesting against themselves to emerge victorious. That way, whatever the outcome is, we know that a woman will emerge and she will be able to fill that role in the national and in the state assemblies. So given the current structure of our political landscape, we are not relying on the current systems to be able to produce women who are capable, women who are intelligent, women who have the capacity to deliver on their blueprint policies and manifestos that they campaign on. We can't rely on the current system. So therefore, we need this reserve seats bill to pass, and therefore women to campaign and emerge victorious so that they could bring about the dividends of democracy that their constituents and the people at large have been clamoring for them to bring about.
Indeed. So we're still talking about trying to tweak the Constitution for this to happen and a non-reliance on structure, as you said. So how will these extra seats ensure equity and balance on gender matters and governance? And do you see this, as a form of acceptance from the electorate as well? Have you appealed to them on this?
There is a huge clamor from the grassroots for this bill to pass. Market women have gathered in their numbers. Students have gathered in their numbers, clamoring for more representation. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting with the Association of Nigerian Female Students the other day. They visited me at the TOS TV headquarters here in Abuja, and they said to me that the fact that this conversation is happening now gives them a lot of hope that tomorrow they can also vie for office and become successful. We all know that the bill allows for 4 election cycles. So that is 16 consecutive years of this bill's existence. We're hoping that by the end of these 16 years, the level playing field in the political system would allow for people to contest the traditional way. But as of today, that unfortunately cannot happen. Therefore, we need this bill to pass so we can get more women involved and increase their capacity, number one, and number two, level the playing field for the young girls who came to meet me the other day to be able to contest successfully.
Well, your coalition stated that this, Nigeria could inject $22.9 billion into its economy through full political participation of women. Can you explain how you reached this projection?
According to the World Bank, getting more women involved in politics and decision-making in business can increase Nigeria's GDP per year by $22.9 billion. In 10 years, that is $229 billion. So this cuts across sectors. It's not just politics, it's business, is all the other different sectors that can get women in decision-making tables. Fortunately for us, in our banking sector, we see the dividends that have been derived from women in leadership. The heads of most of Nigerian banks today are women, and we're seeing, the positive impact that has on our economy. In Nollywood, we see women leading, breaking box offices, doing amazing things, smashing records, generating revenues that have never been generated before. So it's time politics caught up, and the World Bank statistics is just another data to buttress this very important point.
And of course, the male folk in the National Assembly currently, what are your thoughts on their response to all of these tweaks?
There are some allies, which we're very grateful for, and there are some people who have opposed this as expected. We need to continue our orientation and advocacy efforts. We were at the National Assembly with the entire reserve seats for women's campaign the other day, and some legislators made it very clear that they did not understand the intricacies of the bill. Therefore, we have our work cut out for us in educating our lawmakers that this bill doesn't seek to take away seats from you. There are 360 seats in the House of Representatives. There are 109 seats in the Senate. This bill is not taking any of those seats. Yes, women can still contest these traditional seats, but what this bill is seeking to do is to add 37 additional seats in the Senate, 37 additional seats in the House of Representatives, where only women can contest these 37 seats in the Senate and 37 seats in the House of Reps. So it's not a threat to your existing seats. So therefore, it's a no-brainer. You need to support it. So there are people and there are parliamentarians, I beg your pardon, who are supporting this. And there are those who are still skeptical. But I believe with time and with more education, orientation, we'll be able to win them over to support this bill and pass it into law.
Well, thank you very much for your time on the show. We hope that this bill sees the light of the day and then eventually women get more participation in politics.